Math Physics, and if you're watching this video for the very first time, then I would request you to please subscribe to my YouTube channel. So in this video we shall discuss the questions of CSI NET examinations as the previous videos, but this is of December 2015 and all the questions will be from nuclear and particle physics, right? So let's start with the first question. So the first question is, we have to consider the following processes. Okay, these are the four processes given here and we have to say which statement is true. The first one is that this equation 1, this process 1, it is obeying all conservation laws. The second one is that conserve baryon number but violates energy momentum conservation. The second process, it is conserving the baryon number but it is violating energy momentum conservation. The third one is that this third process, it is not allowed by strong interaction but is allowed by weak interaction. And the fourth one is that the fourth process, it conserves the baryon number but it is violating the lepton number conservation, right? So first we will see the first process, that it is obeying all conservation laws or not. So this is the process. So firstly we will check the charge. So here charge, for neutron the charge is what? 0. Okay, for this it is -1. Here for lepton, what it is? For it is +1. For this it is 0. So we can see it will be how much? Charge is conserved. Okay. Then lepton number, this is not a lepton, so it's 0. This is also 0. This is lepton -1. This is anti-lepton, for which it is -1. So you can see the lepton number is also not conserved. So since the lepton number is not conserved, charge is conserved, you can say that all the conservation laws, it is not obeyed by the process 1. Now let's come to the next question. Here what you will see, this is a baryon, so it is -1. Okay, this is neutron 1. This is pi negative, which is 0. Okay, the baryon number is 0 because it is not a baryon. This is a meson. Now what we will see, the baryon number here is what? Conserved. Now we will see energy conservation, because it is said that it is violating the energy momentum. Okay, so for this, one thing I would like to say, that in this left hand side, the baryons, they are having what? Energy in giga electron volt, but in the right hand side, the mesons are having what? Mega electron volt. So the energy of the left hand side is very high compared to the right hand side, so the energy is not conserved. So hence we can say what? That it is not, that it is violating the energy conservation. Okay, energy momentum conservation, it is violating. Now let's come to the third one. Okay, the third one is that here also we will check the charge. Charge of proton is 1, neutron is 0. For pi negative it's 1, for this is 0, for this it is also 0. So we can see what the charge is conserved. Now we will see leptons. There is no lepton, so lepton number will be conserved automatically, and we will see the baryon number. These are the two baryons in the left hand side, so it is 1 and 1. The right hand side all are mesons, so the baryon number will be 0. So here what we will see, that the baryon number, it is not conserved. So the third one was what? The third option was that the third process is not allowed by strong interaction but allowed by weak interaction, so which is not possible in this particular case. Now we will see the fourth equation. In the fourth one, it is said that it is conserving the baryon number but violates the lepton number. So here you will see that for this process, it is what? A baryon. This is anti-lepton, so it's 0. This is also what? Baryon. This is lepton, so it will be what? The baryon number is conserved. Now we will come for lepton number. So this is 0, this is -1, this is also 0, this is -1. So what you will see, the lepton number is also what? Equal, it is conserved in this equation. So the lepton number is not violated, the baryon number is also conserved, the lepton number is also conserved. This is also wrong. It is not allowed by strong interaction but is allowed by weak interaction, which is completely false for this conservation. The only statement which is followed and which is true, which it is that the second process, it is conserving the baryon number and it is violating the energy conservation. So the correct option of this equation is option B. So the correct option is option B. Now let's come to the next question. Question is, of the nuclei of mass number A equals to 125, the binding energy calculated from the liquid drop model, given that the coefficient for the Coulomb and the asymmetry energy are AC is equals to 0.7 mega electron volt and asymmetric is 20.5 mega electron volt respectively. It is maximum 4. So it is given that for a nucleus the mass number is given. Okay, binding energy is calculated from the liquid drop model. Okay, so the coefficients are given of Coulomb Okay, coefficient for Coulomb energy is given, and for asymmetry energy is also given, right? So we have to find the binding energy is maximum for what? Okay, so firstly I would like to say that the binding energy formula is B is equals to AVV. This is the volume energy coefficient. A is a to the power 2 by 3. AC Z Z, and this is symmetry energy. Okay, Z into its Z minus, sorry, this is surface energy. AC Z into its Z minus 1, A to the power 1 by 3. This is A asymmetry, A 2 minus Z whole square by A. This is A, okay, here. Again minus AP by A to the power 3 by 4. This is the formula of binding energy. Now whenever we ask about the maxima or minima, what we are doing, that we are differentiating the binding energy with respect to Z and putting it equals to 0. So for most stable nucleus, del B del Z is equals to what? 0. This is the condition or not for maxima or minima, right? Now when we will differentiate this equation with respect to Z, these are the constant terms, it will be 0. This will give us on differentiation minus AC by A to the power 1 by 3. This is a constant term, and this will give us Z square minus 1. On differentiation will give us 2Z minus 1. It will be Z. This is Z square, so it is 2Z. Z into with minus 1, it will give what? Z. So it is only minus 1 here. The next is asymmetric by A. This is constant, and this one on differentiation will give us what? A minus 2Z whole square. That means 2i's A minus 2Z. Again on differentiating this term, it will give us minus 2. And the right hand side is 0 as it is. Now what we will see, this minus AC by A to the power 1 by 3. It is as it is. 2Z minus 1. It is also as it is. This minus A and this minus A will become plus. And this is 2 asymmetric into with A minus 2Z. This is asymmetric. Okay. This is A here. Okay. A minus 2Z by A into with 2. I have just done the minus and minus plus here. Now we will come for the simplification part. So we will multiply this term. The first term on multiplication will give us minus 2 ACZ by A to the power 1 by 3 plus. Next is this into with this. It is giving us what? Minus and minus is plus. It is AC by A to the power 1 by 3 plus 2 to the 4. Asymmetric, this A by A, which is cancelling here, right? Now, again it's minus, plus a minus is minus, 2 to the 4, 4 to the 8. It is 8 here. Asymmetric into with Z by A. So this is just a basic multiplication. So if you are having any problem, you can do it, okay, on your own. And I think that while watching the video, you can calculate this particular calculation. That would be more profitable for you. So in the right hand side, it is equals to 0. So now what we will see, this minus AC by A to the power 1 by 3 is here. This term, okay, this term I have taken here from here, and I am taking this particular term from here because I am taking Z common, right? So Z is common. Minus 2 AC by A to the power 1 by 3 minus 8 asymmetric by A. Z is outside, and this term is here as it is. This is cancelling A and it is going to the right hand side, and we are getting minus 4 asymmetric. Now we will put the value of the coefficients. Okay, so it was given AC is equals to 0.7. So I have just written 0.7 instead of AC. Rest terms are as it is, and A is equals to 125. So 125 whole to the power 1 by 3 minus, this is 8. The value of A symmetric was 22.5, which I have substituted here, and the value of A is 125, right? The same thing is here, substituting the value of AC and asymmetric and the value of A. Now what we will see, 2 into it 0.7, it is 1.4. Minus sign is as it is. It is 5 cube. Okay, so 3 into with 1 by 3, the power will get cancelled and it will be only 5. Minus 180. 8 multiplied with 22.5 will give us 180. The denominator is 125 as it is. Z is outside without any change. Plus it's 0.7 by 5 because it's 5 cube, and the power will cancel out and we will have only 5. It is equals to, this on multiplication is giving us 90. The minus sign is as it is. Now what we will do, we will take the LCM of these two terms, which will be 125, and multiplying 1.4 with 25 will give us minus 35. Minus 180 is as it is. The Z is also as it is, which is equals to this minus 90, and this term I have taken to the right hand side. Now we will do further simplification. So this will give us what? Minus and minus is plus, so it will give us 215. 180 plus 35, and since the sign before the greater number is minus, so here it will be minus, and the denominator is as it is. Z is as it is common, which is equals to what? This is 90 minus 0.7 by 5. So this on LCM, taking the LCM and adding, what you will have, sorry, it's not taking the LCM and adding here. sorry, this is not taking the LCM, this is just, this I have taken to the right hand side na. After taking to the right hand side, what you will see, we will see that on taking the LCM and simplifying, it will give us 90.14 with a minus sign, and this minus from the left hand side and right hand side will get cancelled, and finally we will have Z is equals to what, 90.14 into it, this will come this side in the right hand side, so it will be reversed, it will be 125 by 250, and this one on multiplying these two numbers and dividing it with 215, it will give us 52.4, which is approximately equals to what, 52, right? So Z is equals to 52. So if you check all the options, you will see the option C is having Z equals to 52. So the correct option is option C. Now let's come to the next question. The next question is from June 2016. So the first question here is that a radioactive element, okay, X, it is decaying into Y, which in turn decays to a stable element Z. X is a radioactive element, it is decaying into Y, and Y will again decay into a stable element, that is Z. The decay constant for X and Y, it is what, lambda 1, and that for Y and Z is lambda 2. So if to begin with there are only n0 numbers, okay, n0 atoms of X at short times, okay, and the atoms of Z will be what? So it is given that initially the number of atoms, okay, for X it is n0, and after a short time the number of atoms for Z will be how much? It is given 1 by lambda 1 is very less than t, and as well as it is less than what, 1 by lambda 2. So the time t it is less than both 1 by lambda 1 and 1 by lambda 2. So I have written here this way, X is decaying into Y, Y is decaying into Z, and Z is a stable element. The decay constant for X and Y is lambda 1, for Y and Z is lambda 2. So initially n0 number of X were there, okay, n0 number of atoms of X were there. So we have to find the number of atoms for Z. So for this, when we are having three processes, like A, B, C, three elements, then the number of atoms formula is Nz is equals to what, n0 into with 1 minus lambda 2 e to the power minus lambda 1 t by lambda 2 minus lambda 1 plus lambda 1 e to the power minus lambda 2 t by lambda 2 minus lambda 1. This is the formula which I have used directly. You can just go and see the derivations. It will be available in any book, okay, of nuclear physics. So now we will evaluate the exponential, okay, we will expand it. E to the power minus x is what, 1 minus x plus x squared by factorial 2 and so on. So it will give us nz, the number of atoms in Z, okay, nz is representing the number of atoms in Z. It is equals to what, n0 1 minus lambda 2 is as it is, and it is by lambda 2 minus lambda 1. From this term is as it is, okay, we are just expanding this e to the power minus lambda 1 t. So it will be what, 1 minus lambda 1 t plus lambda 1 square t square by factorial 2, and I am ignoring all the higher order terms, okay, plus for the second term it is lambda 1 by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, and the exponential will give us 1 minus lambda 2 t plus lambda 2 square t square by factorial 2 and so on. Now we will take n0 outside, and 1 minus, it is lambda 2 by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, right, multiplying, again it's minus a plus, it is lambda 2 lambda 1 t, right, in the denominator it says lambda 2 minus lambda 1, again it's minus a plus a minus lambda 2 lambda 1 square, so lambda 1 square lambda 2 t square by its factorial 2 is 2 lambda 2 minus lambda 1. Again we will see the second term, it will give us what, multiplying with 1 it's lambda 1 by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, plus a minus a is minus lambda 1 lambda 2 t divided by lambda 2 minus lambda 1. Sorry, you can say, I am repeating here again, lambda 1 into with this term, okay, so lambda 1 by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, again this is plus a minus a is minus, right, so it's lambda 1 lambda 2 t, which is here, divided by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, which is as it is here, again it's plus a is plus lambda 1 into with lambda 2 is, square into with t square by factorial 2 is 2 lambda 2 minus lambda 1, right. Now what we will see, this is plus, this is minus lambda 1 lambda 2 t by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, this is lambda 1 lambda 2 t by lambda 2 minus lambda 1, this is with a negative sign, this is with a plus sign, so these two terms will get cancelled, and what we will have, this is what, this is 1, right. So if you take the LCM, I am saying you LCM, or if you take lambda 2 minus lambda 1 common outside, okay, I have taken this lambda 2 minus lambda 1 common outside, it will give you what? Lambda 2 minus lambda 1. This is minus lambda 2, right? And again this will become what? Minus lambda 1. This will give us minus lambda 1 square, okay, and it's lambda 2, it's not lambda 2 square, it's just lambda 2 t square by 2 from here. And this will give you what? Lambda 1 lambda 2 square t square by 2. This is there, just taking lambda 2 minus lambda 1 common. Now you will see this lambda 2 gets cancelled, lambda 1 gets cancelled, and finally you will have this minus lambda 1 square lambda 2 t square by 2 plus lambda 1 lambda 2 square t square by 2. And now this 2 is as it is, okay. Now from the numerator, if I am taking lambda 1 lambda 2 t square common, what you will have? You will have this lambda 1 lambda 2 t square is taken common. So from here you will get just lambda 2, right? This minus sign is coming here. Lambda 1 lambda 2 t square is taken. So here it is lambda 1 square, so only lambda 1 will be here, right? This 2 is as it is in the denominator. So finally you will see this is lambda 2 minus lambda 1. This is also lambda 2 minus lambda 1, which will get cancelled, and you will have n naught lambda 1 lambda 2 t square by 2. This is the number of atoms in Z after a short time. So the correct option is option A. So this is just a basic calculation which you can do it on your own, or if you are having any problem then you can consult the calculation done by me. And I would request you that please try the calculation on your own, which will make you efficient for the calculations. Okay, so with this let's start with the next question. The second question is, in the Large Hadron Collider, two equal energy proton beams traverse in opposite direction. You can see here these are the two equal energy protons and they are traversing in what? Opposite directions. Okay, along a circular path, and the length of this path is how much? 27 kilometer. If the total center mass energy of a proton pair is this much. This is 14 tetra electron volt. It is the total center of mass energy of proton pair. Which of the following is the best approximation for the proper time taken by proton to traverse the entire path? Okay, so we are asked to find the proper time, okay, taken by the proton to traverse the entire path. We have to find out the best approximation. We are given that two protons are there which is having same energy in the Large Hadron Collider. They are moving in opposite direction in a circular path. The path is 27 kilometer, right, in length. And if the total center of mass energy of this proton pair, it is 14 tetra electron volt. We have to find out the best approximation for the proper time taken by this proton to traverse the entire path. So in the Large Hadron Collider, okay, the first thing is that the speed of the proton, it will be approximately with the speed of light, which is c. So the formula for time is what? Time is equal to distance by speed. So distance is 27 into with 10 to the power 3 because it is kilometer and we are converting it into meter, divided by 3 into 10 to the power 8. So which will give us t is equals to how much? The time, 9 into 10 to the power minus 5 second, right? Now proton is relativistic. So we know that the formula for proper time is what? T naught is equals to what? T by gamma you can say, or T root over 1 minus v square by c square. Okay. Now gamma is equals to what? E by m naught c square, right? So 1 by gamma is what? M naught c square by E. So m naught, it is the rest mass, which is 938 into 10 to the power 6 electron volt, right? Next is what? E. This is the value of m naught c square. Okay, this is the value of m naught c square. It is 938 by c square, so it is becoming 938 into 10 to the power 6 electron volt. C square is getting cancelled with this m naught value. Okay, divided by 7 into with 10 to the power 12 electron volt, which is the energy, mass energy for what? Mass energy for proton pair, rest mass energy. Sorry, it is the total center of mass energy. Okay, 7 into with 10 to the power 12 electron volt, because I have converted tetra electron volt into what? Electron volt. Now you will see this 10 to the power 6 and 12, it will give you what? 10 to the power minus 6, and this on dividing you will have 134. So it will give you finally 1.34 into with 10 to the power minus 4. Bring the decimal back to two decimal places, okay, back side. Okay, it is 1.34, so it became minus 6, became minus 4. Now finally what we will see, the formula for proper time was what? T naught is equals to T by gamma. Okay, so T is 9 into 10 to the power minus 5 into with 1 by gamma is how much? 1.34 into 10 to the power minus 4. So this is minus 5 minus 4, it is minus 9 second. 9 into with this one, it will give you what? 12. Okay, so the proper time is approximately equals to what? 12 nanoseconds. So the correct option is option A. So that's it in this question. Now let's come to the next question. Is that this ES, it is denoting the contribution of surface energy per nucleon in the liquid drop model, and the ratio of the surface energy of this nucleus is to the surface energy of nucleus is what? You have to find the ratio of the surface energy of these two nuclei. ES is denoting what? The contribution of surface energy. So surface energy per nucleon is equals to what? AS, A to the power minus 1 by 3. This is the contribution of surface energy. So for this nucleus, we will calculate the surface energy contribution. So it is what? AS into with A to the power 1 by 3, right? 1 by A to the power 1 by 3. So for this nucleus, A is how much? This is the value of A, 27 whole to the power 1 by 3, which means 3 cube, right? So it will be what? A is by 3. Again for this nucleus, if you see, the value of A is what? Sorry, it's 64, right? So it is A is 1 by 64 whole to the power 1 by 3. So it's 4 cube. 64 means 4 cube. So it will be how much? A is by 4. So the ratio finally which will be equals to what? AS by 3 into with 4 by AS. So this AS will get cancelled and finally you will have what? 4 by 3. So this is the ratio of the surface energy of these two nucleus, which is 4:3. So the correct option is option B. So this is very simple, only we need to remember this particular surface energy per nucleon formula, right? So now let's come to the next question. Here we have, according to the shell model, the nuclear magnetic moment of the nucleus it is given that for proton the value of GL and GS is GL is 1, GS is 5.586, and for a neutron it is GL is equals to what? 0 and GS is equals to this. So we have to find out the nuclear magnetic moment for this nucleus. For proton the value of GL and GS is given, and for neutron also it is given. So firstly we will see, this is the given nucleus, right? According to the shell model, we have to find the nuclear magnetic moment. So first of all, what we will do? First of all, we will see the number of protons and neutrons. So here the number of protons is how much? 13. The number of neutrons is how much? 27 minus 13, that is 14. So this is even, so it is neglected. We will write the energy levels only for the odd number, which is written as this. So the last proton will be in which shell? It will be in 1d 5 by 2 shell. So for this, J is equals to how much? 5 by 2. L is equals to how much? 2, because it's D. For D, L is equals to what? 2. So the formula for magnetic moment is what? Mu is equals to 1 by 2 into it 2J minus 1 plus GS mu N. So we have to find the value of this mu. Okay. So what you will see here, it's half 2J. J is 5 by 2 minus 1. GS is how much? This is for proton, right? For proton, the value of GS is 5.586. This is mu N. So this 2 and this 2 will get cancelled. This is 5 minus 1, which is 4. On adding with the 5.586. Okay, 4 on adding with 5.586, it will be 9.586. The half is as it is. And the mu N is also as it is. So it will give you how much? 2 4s are point. 2 7s are 14. Then 2 9s are 2 3s are. Just you can divide and see. And the correct option is option C. It is 4.793 mu N. This is the value of the magnetic moment for this particular nucleus according to the shell model. Right, so this is very simple. Now let's come to the next question. Next question is from December 2016. Okay, so the first question is that what should be the minimum energy of a photon for it to split an alpha particle at rest into a tritium and a proton? We have to find the minimum energy, okay, of a photon, okay, so that it will split an alpha particle, okay, into a tritium and a proton. The masses for this 3 nucleus is given, okay. So we have to find the minimum energy. So here it is a photon, okay. So this is the nucleus, right? And this photon will split this alpha particle into what? A tritium and a proton. Okay, this is at rest. So for this we are asked to find the minimum energy. Okay, so first of all, what we will find? We will find Q. Okay, because we are asked to find the minimum energy, which is Q. It is mass of the product minus mass of the reactant into its C square. So mass of the product is how much? The product is this 2. So mass of the mass of product. Okay. Total mass of the product. This is the products. So the total mass of the product will be how much? 3.0161 plus 1.0073 minus the mass of the reactant, which is this one. So it is how much? 4.0026. C square will be as it is. So this on addition and subtracting with this will give us Q is equals to 0.0208 C square AMU. Okay, so we know one atomic mass unit is equals to what? 938 mega electron volt by C square. So we will put here 938 into mega electron volt C square. So this C square and C square will get cancelled, and this two on multiplication will give you Q is equals to 19.5 mega electron volt. So this is the minimum energy which a photon requires. Okay, so that it can split an alpha particle into a tritium and a photon. So the correct option is option C here. It's 19.5, which is approximately equals to 19.3 mega electron volt. So now let's come to the next. So the question is, which of the following reactions is or are allowed by the conservation laws? So we are having two reactions here. So we have to see out of these two reactions which is or are allowed. It is allowed, one is allowed, or both are allowed by the conservation laws. So the first one is pi positive plus n. So first we will check the charge, then the lepton number, then the baryon number. Okay, so this will say us whether these are the basic laws, okay, conservation laws, and this will help us to check whether these reactions are allowed or forbidden. So first is the charge. Here the charge is 1, neutron it is 0, for pi is 0 it's 0, for this K positive it's what? 1, right? So you can see the charge is conserved. Now let's come to the lepton number. The lepton number is conserved because we don't have any lepton here. Now the baryon number here it's 0, then 1, then 1, then 0. So the lepton number is also conserved. So the first one, it is allowed by the conservation law. Now let's come to the second one. First here also we will check the charge. So it's -1, this is 1, for this it's 0, and here 0. So we can say the charge is what? Conserved. Lepton number is also conserved because there is no lepton in this reaction. Next is the baryon number, which is 0, for proton it's 1, for pi it's for this. So the question is, a particle which is composite state of three quarks U, D and AS. It has electric charge, spin and strangeness respectively equals to what? So a particle is there, okay, it is a composite state of what? Three quarks. This is up, down and strange, okay, and it is comprising of electric charge, spin and strangeness. So the charge for up quark is what? +2/3e. For down it is -1/3. For strange it is what? -1/3e, right? It's 1 here, right? Baryon number is 1, for this it's 0. So you can see the baryon number is also what? Conserved. So here what we will see, both in this reaction also both charge, lepton number, baryon number all are conserved. That means both the reactions 1 and 2 they are allowed, okay, by the conservation laws. Now let's come to the next question, which is the last question of this. It is said a particle which is a composite state of three quarks, up, down and strange. It has electric charge, spin and strangeness, and which is equals to. So we have to calculate the strangeness, electric charge and spin of a particle which is a composite of three quarks, up, down and strange. So for the up the charge is +2/3e, for the down it's -2/3e, and for strange it is how much? -1/3e. So if on adding all, what you will get, the total is what? 0. So the charge is 0. Now we will see the spin. For spin is half for all. So this two, the combination of these two will give us what? 0 and 1. Now combining this 0 with half, it will give you what? Half. 1 with combining with half, it will give you half and 3/2. So you can see here the common is what? Half in both the cases, right? That means what? The strangeness will be how much? Sorry, the spin will be how much? Half. Now the third one is strangeness. For up and down it's 0 and it's -1 for S. So the strangeness is what? -1. That means the charge is 0, spin is half and the strangeness is -1, which is the third option. So that's all in this video. If you like my video, then you can share with your friends. Like, comment and share, and do not forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much. Have a good day.